So on our trip to Porto, we ended up cooking with a Michelin-trained chef, which was amazing. But first, we just had to try the famous pastel de natas. Yes, the Portuguese pastry that everyone talks about. And I have to admit, Eric and I ate a little too many.
But Porto is a lot more than just pastries. So we headed to Belleau Market to meet Chef Guy.
Who was our private guide from Taste of Porto, the oldest foodie tour in the city of Porto, and who was also featured on the episode of Anthony Bourdain's Part Unknown. Well, back to the market. First stop? Well, let's just say we needed fish, because he's making fish stew for us. So he picked out a good one. Luckily it wasn't that stuff. I don't know what that is. Well, anyways, the people there were really friendly, and what a beautiful market. Guy picked out some really nice potatoes for his stew. And then, of course, he said we needed a nice tomato. Not only did Guy know exactly where to go in the market, but he knew all the vendors, which was kind of neat.
So after that, we went to a small specialty shop and we picked up some local cheeses and some smoked ham and this traditional Jewish sausage, which Janet is going to talk to you about later.
Then he brought us back to his flat in downtown Porto, where behind his flat there was a beautiful little garden where he actually picked fresh ingredients for our lunch. Here he's picking rosemary blossoms. I wonder what that's going to be for. And here's the star of the show. Well, actually it's Guy. But the fish, of course, fresh from the market, and he's starting out with making a fish stock with the different fish parts. Yes, even a fish head.
So here is where things got interesting. Chef Guy put the wife to work. He was like, man, fillet this fish, girlfriend.
I learned a lot with this whole experience, and one of the things, like, you can see what he was doing right there. He was pounding the fish, and the reason why he does that is he breaks up the bone marrow in the bones. So he's got the stock going, and it looks gorgeous, smells wonderful, and then he's gonna start layering things for the soup itself. And as he was preparing, he said that we had to try something that was a delicacy here in Portugal, and I have to admit it was a little crazy looking. Gooseneck barnacles. Post below if you actually have tried those before, because they are definitely different. I'd love to hear your comments about them. So let me tell you about the dessert that Guy prepared for us. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but it's pain de l'eau. I don't know if that's correct, but these are the famous runny center versions of these cakes that basically the story is it has to do with monks plus egg yolks. All right, so back in the day, Portuguese convents had tons of leftover egg yolks. Why? Well, egg whites were used to starch clothes. Yes, really. I know, right? So the nuns were like, well, what do we do with all these yolks? And they started making rich desserts. That's how pão de l'eau was born. It was an accident, actually, by the way. That gooey center that you're going to see later on in the video is kind of part of the legend. A baker supposedly undercooked the cake by mistake. When they cut into it, the center was soft, creamy, almost custardy. And instead of throwing it out, they served it. And the people loved it. Now for appetizers, we had a cod and chickpea salad made from the salted dry cod. And another dish we tried called arraya, which was a traditional sausage that came from the Inquisition, where Jews created this sausage made without pork. So it looked Christian while secretly preserving their tradition. Pretty cool. Now for the final moment, the fish stew. Oh my gosh, if you guys could only smell this. It was incredible. And so was the conversation, by the way. I think that was probably one of the best parts of this whole experience. And now the final drizzle of olive oil. Beautiful. Now it's time for the pão de ló. And I know I butchered that. I'm so sorry. Remember, it's a traditional Portuguese sponge cake. And it's actually meant to be underbaked in the center. So, you see me cutting that, but it's okay. It's supposed to look like that. And now we know what those rosemary flowers were for. It was honestly just a perfect afternoon in Porto, and definitely something we'd recommend if you ever visit. Please follow for more.